George Chernowski. You probably would have guessed that since this is a video that goes with your class for Introduction to Literature. But anyway, most weeks I will be making a video so that you can have maybe a little bit better understanding of what the lesson's going to be. I will type out a lesson as you saw last week, but also, as I say, many weeks I will make a video maybe to just give you a little bit more in-depth understanding of what we're doing, making sure that we're all on the right path as we move forward. Okay. And usually in the video I will put some kind of a question for you, and what I want you to do is email me the answer to the question before you actually write your essay. Okay, so each week you're going to have an essay. As you know, most weeks I will make a video, and in most of the time in those videos I will give you some kind of a question, and I want you to email me an answer to it. You have my email address. Don't just post it on the forum. Email it to me at either georgec4@aol.com or at chernowskig@trocaire.edu. Either one of those is fine. They both come to my handheld, and that's what I really want. Okay, so as for the essays that you wrote the first week, I am pretty pleased. There were one or two where I made comments about try to be more detailed, but in general they were well done. You folks did what I would like you to do, putting forth your interpretations, and the important thing is they are your interpretations, not some critic's interpretation, not what somebody said in a book, but what you think it should say, what you think is going on there, what your ideas are, what your reactions are. You did not retell the stories, and that's exactly what I said for you to do, not to retell the stories. You did not, so that's good. Some of you didn't have your essays in even by Monday night. Okay, need you to be on time with these, and also with your responses to other people's essays, most of those were quite good as well. Most of you took the time to express some thoughts. If you just said, yeah, I agree with what you said in there, then you're not adding anything to the class. Okay, so we want you to be adding to the class. So, be a player, be part of this whole thing. We'll all grow together, and we'll all come to enjoy literature more through this interchange of ideas, because it should not just be me giving you ideas to think about. It should be what everybody's ideas are all about. Okay, it's an awfully nice day, and so I thought I would sit out and on my deck, and that's my gazebo behind me. You can see my shed out behind that, and there's a swing set back there in my backyard, and this kind of stuff. Anyway, that's where we are. So you're not just looking at me in a sterile classroom. One of the reasons I do these videos also is so that you can have a little bit of life to what's going on. You're not just reading stuff in computers, but you're actually seeing, hearing, and reading, as well as writing then. And that gives you an opportunity to touch upon many different learning styles. We all learn differently. Well, there are different learning styles, let's put it that way. Some people learn best by reading, some people learn best by hearing, some people learn best by seeing, some people learn best by combinations of those things. So I'm trying to give you the opportunity for combinations of things. And also, I know you can only read so much, and after a while it's hard to keep reading, so this way it kind of throws you a little bit of a change up as well. Okay, so now anyway, with your essays, keep doing what you're doing, and for those few, enhance them a little more. Comments were very good. I was very pleased that some people were willing to say, I don't really agree with what you said. That's cool. That gets us into discussion, and some people then came back and responded to those. So that's fun stuff. I may get going with a discussion block for you within the next week or so. I've been out of town the last week, and so it's made trying to keep up with things a little bit difficult, but I'm hoping to get a discussion blog so that if you guys want to throw ideas around at each other before you write your essays, you'll have a place to do that, and I will try to keep an eye on that so that I can kind of add to those things too, add my opinions. Keep in mind your opinions are as valid as anybody else's, including mine, okay? Everything that we read touches upon our own personal experience in one way or another, and so one interpretation is not going to be the same as another interpretation because we all have different lives that we've lived. Even if your twin sister or twin brother were in class, their life is not exactly the same as yours. Your feelings are not exactly the same as theirs. Okay? So all of this stuff works together to say we want you to tell us what you think because your ideas are just as valid as anybody else's. Okay, this week we're looking at the William Faulkner story, A Rose for Emily. Okay? Faulkner lived pretty much his whole life in the South. His writing pretty much reflects the South. And this story is set probably, late 1800s, before the beginning of the 1900s. That's really, what the time period is here. So we're talking like 125 years ago, roughly. Okay, so times have changed, obviously. Emily Grierson. Now, this is set in the South, where society was really, really important. If you were from the upper crust, you were from the upper crust, and so once in the upper crust, pretty much always in the upper crust. Emily is from the upper crust. However, her family's role in society has deteriorated. Emily is not willing to see that. So Emily still wants to live like a high-class person, but her house has deteriorated, her stature has deteriorated. She wants to hang on to those things. Emily is somebody who likes to hang on to things. So early in the story, Emily's father dies, and she doesn't even want to tell people. She doesn't want to let go of the body because he is what's kind of a symbol of the end of the family's stature. Okay, so that's part of what's happening in this story. Now, the father was overprotective of Emily, and that's part of the reason why Emily's personality is the way that it is. Understand in this story that the narration does not go in a straight line. It's not like B follows A, C follows B, D follows C. That's not how this story is created, okay? You bounce around in here. You're at different places in the story, and then you bounce back. So keep that in mind as you read. If you want to maybe even try to construct a timeline for yourself, that might help you if you make a timeline for yourself so that you really can know how things are happening pretty well, because there are incidents that just do not happen in normal order, okay? Keep that in mind. Keep in mind that Emily is a little bit of an unusual person. Again, unusual background, family structure going downhill, industrialization is coming to their town, it's built up all around her house. Her house is kind of the last one standing, not well cared for. We are not long after the period of slavery in this country, not really long afterwards. So Emily has a hired man. She doesn't really treat him like a slave, but he almost feels committed, as a slave would feel committed. Okay, all of this stuff goes to what's going on in the story, and Emily feels like she's still an important person, so her will is important. She tries to have her will done. Homer Barron's a guy from the outside. Okay, Homer Barron is a character that gets pretty important in the story, and I'm going to ask you a question now that you need to email me the answer to. Okay, did Homer Barron ever want to marry Emily? If you read the story relatively closely, you'll see the answer to that. Okay, so email me an answer to that question. If you have any questions, comments, give me a call, email me, you know where they are. Otherwise, I need to end now.